Hello guys, and welcome to this new Python tutorial. Today we are going to talk about very used module in Python, which is a random module. Random module is a Python built-in module which is used to generate random numbers. For example, to start, we import the random module, right? If we want to generate a random number, for example, a float, which is between 0 and 1, we use the random function or the random method, right? So this to generate number which is between 0 and 1, and it is a float. Okay, for example, if we do that again, run, we will get another number. If we do that again, we will get another number and another number which is different. So if you want to get, for example, the same number, we use a method called seed. Okay, so for example, you import random.seed and you put here, for example, 0. Okay, run. So at each time we'll get the same number. Okay, if we remove that, we'll get another number. Okay, so the seed method will keep for us the same number. Okay, so it will always generate the same number. Now if we want to generate a float between two numbers, for example, let's say 1 and 10. Okay, so here it is between 0 and 1, and now we want to generate a float between 1 and 10. We use the method called uniform. We give it the beginning and the end. Okay, so we run that, we will get 7.82, for example. We run that again, we'll get another value. Run that again, we get another value. And the same thing, if we want to get only the same value, we use the seed function or the seed method. So as you can see here, we get always the same value. Okay, now if we want to generate an integer between two values, we use random.randint. Okay, and we give it, for example, between 2 and 12. It will generate for us a number. Okay, run. Okay, now let's say, for example, we create a list. So we call it list1 equals to, for example, list range 11, right? So if we get list1, we'll have this list. If we want to shuffle our list, we use the shuffle method. For example, we write random.shuffle and we put list1. Okay, now if we print list1, it will give us the list shuffled. Okay, if we want to get a random number from the list, we use the choice method. So we write random.choice and we write list1. So it gives us 9, 5, 0, etc. We can also use the seed method if we want to get only the same number. Okay, we have also choices. So we write random.choices and we write list1. We also since we want to get more than one choice, Okay, so as you can see here, we have the s. We can write the number of k's that we want. So for example, let's say k equals to 5. So as you can see here, we have a repetition. So we have 8 and 8. If we want to get a sample or an example without repetition, we use the sample method. For example, random dot sample, right, list 1, k equals to 5. So as you can see here, we don't have repetition. So choices and sample do exactly the same thing, which is picking up random variables depending on k that you have put in here. And for sample, we don't have repetition of the values, whereas for choices, we have a repetition. So it allows repetition. Okay. And also for choices, we can get a number, for example, which is greater than the length of the list. For example, if you write length list 1, so here we have 11. Since choices allows for us to get repetition, for example, we can put k is greater than 11. For example, we put 15. So we get here another sample, which has 15 values and has repetitions. But for sample, if we put 15, we'll get an error, because for sample, since it does not allow repetitions, we cannot put the value of k greater than the length of the list. Okay, so the maximum value, for example, here is 11. All right. Now let's say, for example, we want to create a list that contains 15 elements, and these elements are integers between 1 and 6. Okay, so we create our list, so we call it my list 2, and we use a for loop. So for element in, we said 15 elements, and we have values which are random and derived integers between 1 and 6. So we append that to our list value, right? And we print our list. Okay, so here we have 15 elements, which are between 1 and 6. Okay, and it is the same thing if you want to create a list that contains random values which are floats. Okay, so for example, we have my list 3. We do the same thing for I in range, for example, 10. Okay, we create our number, which is a float random dot uniform. Okay, which is between, for example, 1 and 5. Okay, and we append that to our list. So my list 3 dot and our number, right? We print that, my list 3. Okay, so here we have 10 elements. Length of my list 3 is 10. Okay, and all the values are between 1 and 5, and also they are floats. Okay, so this is all for the random module. I hope that you have learned new things. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.